There's no safe area as far as U.S. personnel here.
On a clear day, you can see the enemy.
All 4 of the grenades landed in this area right here.
You have bad guys all around us.
It's just an all-around dangerous place.
This is Operation Afghanistan, Alaska's Spartan Brigade. Alaska has been a strategic location for the United States military since World War II. It's what's helped build the state, and even now, military spending is helping Alaska weather an economic recession. But it comes at a price. In September of 2017, about 2,100 soldiers left their families and their homes to deploy for a 9-month mission. Their goal, to train, advise, and assist the Afghan National Security Forces. Channel 2's Blake Essig and photojournalist Albert Lutan bring us the story of how these soldiers spent their days and the role of the 425 in Afghanistan.
The Spartan Brigade has 2 missions here in Afghanistan. The NATO Resolute Support Mission, aimed at training, advising, and assisting the Afghan security forces. And then there's the Pentagon's mission, known as Operation Freedom Sentinel, a counterterrorism mission. I'm told both are equally important in the effort to help the Afghans control and defend their own country.
During the IDF accident, put on the ground and wait for my command.
6 days a week. Guardian Angels from Poland provide safe passage for advisors from the 425. Advisors like Lieutenant Colonel Richard Johnson, who's headed off base for a battle update briefing with leaders from the Afghan National Army.
This is where the rubber meets the road for the train and advise and assist mission.
While soldiers here will admit it's not exactly the most exciting mission they've ever participated in, this is exactly what NATO's Resolute Support role looks like.
I asked the brigade commander, hey, talk to the governor.
The task? To train, advise, and assist.
That is the big part of our mission set in helping the ANA, telling them what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong, making recommendations to them on how they can better enable their unit.
As for the troops' dual role here, Operations Freedom Sentinel is the 425's other mission. The Spartan Brigade is focused on counterterrorism, providing security for special forces on the front line against insurgents. 2 missions that Corps Commander Lieutenant General Mohammed Zaman Waziri says is helping Afghan security forces gain confidence and proficiency on the battlefield as they now lead the fight against both ISIS and the Taliban.
We look at both of them as a threat and the enemy of this country. Anywhere they live, anywhere that they live and they have their safe haven, we're going to attack, we're going to go do an operation to get rid of them.
And for the Afghan army to be successful, mentoring and support from Alaska's Arctic Airborne Brigade are critical.
It is a non-traditional mission, but the young men and women from Alaska, from this brigade, have adapted to the mission, have embraced it, and they're making a huge impact for the future of Afghanistan.
A future which commanders here say is looking brighter, bit by bit, day by day. For 425 soldiers serving here in eastern Afghanistan, there's no such thing as 9 to 5. Their workday started when they deployed in September, and it doesn't finish until they get back home to Alaska. On a warm day in January at Bagram Airfield, soldiers from J-Bear's Able Company 3509 are simulating a green-on-blue attack.
It's a very real danger and something that all units in this country and any other country where we're deployed in should be ready to react to.
All right, get out.
In this situation, the platoon must secure the area while the medic tends to 2 injured soldiers. A real-life scenario that could and has played out on the battlefields of Afghanistan.
We try to train every day as much as possible, unless something really comes up or a mission comes up. And if a mission or something does come up, because we've been training every day, we are ready for that mission.
For the men and women of the 425,
all right, we're good.
Maintaining a constant sense of readiness is what they do for a living.
It's not just a job. It's not just going to work every day.
And perhaps there's no better example of that than what happened a few weeks ago, about 114 miles southeast of Bagram Airfield at Forward Operating Base Fenty.
All 4 of the grenades landed in this area right here.
On that day, Sergeant Aaron Funderburk and Specialist Ryan Camden were providing security for international contractors when a middle-aged Afghan man approached.
And then he walked down here, almost straight in front of us, and squatted down facing out, and then just started lobbing grenades over his head.
The first grenade hit an international contractor from Uganda in the neck. Another landed at the feet of a group of contractors. It was then the attacker squared up on the two Americans, throwing a grenade which landed at their feet.
We were probably about a meter away from the grenade that blew, and once it blew, we picked up, looked over, and he was running across the field, and we just dropped him out in the field.
Troops here got lucky that day, as only one of the 4 grenades thrown actually exploded, determined to recycled relics from the Soviet era. Several weeks later, white residue still marks the spot of the attack here. Meanwhile, as the sun goes down behind the Torgar Mountains, roughly 20 miles northwest of tactical base Gambarry, soldiers fire several rounds of the M777 howitzer daily in support of coalition forces and to deny the enemy any possibility of movement within the 425's operating space.
Not too often does every unit get to engage the enemy, but you know, when we do, you know, we just have to be ready to always answer the call, you know, accurately and timely.
A mission which the entire brigade across eastern Afghanistan is training for and focused on, one day at a time.
The fight we're about to take the OP Mad Dog in the southern Nangahar province almost never happens during the day. That's because the number of insurgents hiding in the Roman Valley making this flight incredibly dangerous.
Embarking on a journey in one of the most perilous regions in the world. We are wheels up from Jalalabad Airfield. Touching down at Outpost Mad Dog about 20 minutes later. It's a short flight, but one that requires an escort into a part of Afghanistan affectionately known by U.S. soldiers as the Valley of Death.
It's just an all-around dangerous place.
Situated in the Moman Valley, a handful of miles from the Afghan border with Pakistan, Outpost Mad Dog and several others like it are located on what's considered the front lines in the fight against ISIS and the Taliban.
This is an inherently dangerous place, absolutely, and you have bad guys all around us.
Because of that, this small, rugged outpost with no running water, no kitchen, and tents built from scratch.
This is the most austere location you can really get.
Is manned by U.S. infantry and artillery platoons from the 425, standing guard 24 hours a day.
Yep, good to go, sir. Here we go.
Constantly training. They aim to send a very loud message to insurgents.
There's no safe area as far as U.S. personnel here. So we maintain pretty strict guard towers and defensive operations.
The 425's primary mission here to provide security on the ground and artillery fire support for both U.S. and Afghan special forces conducting operations within the valley. A call First Lieutenant Kyle Brand says his platoon is prepared to answer.
They definitely understand that at any moment they have to drop their stuff and do whatever they're doing because someone's calling on them, and they're calling on them for a pretty good reason.
One Green Beret, who asked us to protect his identity, says the Spartan Brigade support gives him and his team peace of mind.
It's nice to have the 425 soldiers there with us, carrying what we carry, bringing the fight to the enemy. I trust the Afghan forces; they're capable. There's just a peace of mind having an American next to you, having a guy wearing the same flag as you.
And providing cover here is no small responsibility. It's a life and death fight against determined insurgents trying to hide throughout these hills.
On a clear day, you can see the enemy. You can see American aircraft, doing their mission.
A desperate yet determined fight in a 16-year battle to control these otherwise quiet mountains.
The soldiers of the 425 Alaska Spartan Brigade are scheduled to return to Alaska this spring. But if you want to help support the troops still stationed in Afghanistan, you can make a tax-deductible donation to the Armed Services YMCA. To all of those who are current or former members of the armed forces, we thank you for your service.